Greetings. Once again, it's your boy, Cypher the MC, the Muhammad Ali of MCs. You know who it is. Back with you once again. Cypher Nation, stand up. Another week has come upon us. Second week, Wednesday drop. You know what it is. Hopefully everyone is having a good day so far. It's the middle of the week. Just know, the weekend is coming, and you're writing things down, you're making notes, you're going to be doing everything that you... DJ is on point. Steph Curry.
Yep.
Kyrie. But definitely just continue to work on you in any relationship, in any type of connection that you will have. You will be a factor in that. You are a variable. So control what you can control and continue to be on this journey to be the best version of yourself. And I say we. Did I say we? Well, we, because we're on this journey together. If you're new to the podcast, thank you for dropping by. Hopefully you're in for a treat. Continue to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, because I understand that you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Shout out to Jay-Z. We're going to get into our disclaimers just so you know exactly what is going on. I am not a psychiatrist nor a psychologist.
Nope.
I'm not a therapist of any kind. I'm not a sex therapist, family therapist, relationship expert. I don't have any masters or doctorates on my wall from Harvard. I am just a regular. Say it with me now. A regular Joe Schmo.
You said it yourself.
Joe Schmo, I say.
Ooh.
Natural sunlight, you know what I'm saying? Positive vibes, things of that nature. If you're watching this on YouTube, of course, you know, try to keep it flavorful for you guys. All right. We got our disclaimers out the way. You already know what it is. You know how we do. We're going to get into today's topic. Sharing is caring. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, like, what in the world are you talking about? Sharing is caring. I don't care to share.
What?
I don't share to care either. But hopefully this will have a different meaning for you once we get said and done with it. So let me ask you this question. You know, you can ask yourself this question. How do you identify yourself? How do you identify yourself? Is it by who your family is, what your last name is, who you're connected to? And I myself, you know, I understand families, the hierarchy of life and where family resides and things of that nature. But I also understand that as I move through life, I don't always have my family with me. I don't always have my last name to carry. So it's not like what you would see in the movies where you just mentioned someone's last name. The Bloomingdales.
Ooh.
Is that Richard Bloomingdale? Well, come right on in. We're going to give you the best table. We're going to shut down everything so you can shop at the mall. I don't have that luxury. I don't have that je ne sais quoi, so to speak. I'm using my French SAT. No, that's not a French SAT word. I'm just playing.
Nope.
But most of us, rather, I dare say all of us, have had some sort of pain or hurt or trauma that has had a hand in molding us, shaping us into who we are currently. It may still be affecting you. It may still be kind of shaping who you are. And it's sometimes for a lot of us, it's a continuous struggle. It's a continuous process to kind of work through and muddle through those things that oftentimes seem to hold us back. We go through life and either are drawn towards relationships that remind us of that pain or hurt or trauma, or for some reason, you know, or we try to avoid those relationships that remind us of those things. So yes, there's a commonality, SAT words,
Yep.
between us that we all share. We all share something that has helped define who we are now. Whether it was something that happened in your past relationship, the relationship before that, back in high school, something that happened as a kid, we all have had to deal with it. So when I say sharing is caring, it does not mean the sense of I have something that you don't and I share it with you out of compassion, like toys. You know, kids have toys, you know, oh, share your toys and you know, they'll grow up to share. No, they won't. They'll just not like you because you made them share something they didn't want to share.
Yeah, that's true.
Or, you know, maybe you're about to order some food, or you order some food and say, hey, would you like some? Just some examples that we normally associated with something good. No. In this sense, I am sharing my hurt, my pain, my issues, my trauma, because I care enough. This is where I bring it all together. I care enough so that you do not have to either encounter this or face it alone.
Ooh.
Many of us think that we're facing something by ourselves. Well, we've never faced this before. No one is going through what I'm going through. No one is dealing what I'm dealing with. No one has been where I've been. No one has had to pull themselves up. No one has ever had their backs against the wall. No one has ever. And we often convince ourselves of that. We convince ourselves that no one has ever been through a heartache before. No one has ever had their heart broken. No one has ever been lied to. No one has ever been cheated on. No one has ever been underappreciated. No one has ever been taken for granted. No one has ever been viewed less than. I'm here to tell you, no, that's simply not the case. Sure, the scenarios may be different. The players or the characters involved may be different. But I like to say the underlying principle never changes. So that underlying principle that we will all face something that goes against us, or that hurts us, or that, you know, feels like a slap in the face or a punch in the gut. It happens to all of us. I know it's happened to me. If it's happened to you, drop a comment down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, just drop a comment. Say, yeah, it's happened to me. I've had to face certain traumas. I've had to face certain issues. This is a safe space. We can talk.
Yep.
This is a safe space. We all have had those issues or those traumas, whether it's, you know, something like, you know, being stung by a bee, or your certain family members playing a prank on you, locking you in a closet, or you know, putting you in a trunk of some sort and leaving, or pretending to leave, and you know, it just traumatized you. Now you have feelings of, you know, now you have trust issues with people. Now you look at people differently, or things of that nature. It's hard to admit sometimes, but we shouldn't try to disguise our pain, or disguise our hurt, or disguise our trauma. We shouldn't try to just kind of, you know, say, oh, well, you know, it doesn't affect me because I'm this, I'm that. I often see this in men and oftentimes in women, because women want to be strong and independent and don't want to be viewed as weak or anything such as that. So sometimes anything that has affected them, they kind of push it down, but then it comes out in certain ways that is uncharacteristic of who they are actually. This goes for men as well. I mean, this goes for all of us. We're all human. We all have feelings. I don't know if any other creatures in that's in God's creation that has feelings like we do. I don't know. Maybe so. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, we all have feelings of some sort, and how we view things in different perspectives. Like I said, the characters will change, the scenarios will change, but in underlying factors, we all will experience something that will shape us and continue to shape us. but hopefully not control us. I mean, believe it or not, any trauma, pain, or hurt that we face in life shapes us into what we either accept or don't accept from relationships and or people. I mean, let's face it, if you have trust issues, you're not going to readily trust the next man or woman with your heart, especially if you're a giving person. You're going to be less likely to do that. They may not know why, they may not understand why until you explain it to them, but then you have to explain it to them. You have to explain your hurt. You have to explain your trauma. You have to explain it to them. And let's face it, some people are just not ready for that. Are you someone that is ready to strike out on their own and get their first apartment? You and your roommates are all ready and set to go to live the good life and pretty much get your life started? Or are you about to leave college and looking for a new place to live in a new city with your new degree? Well, guess what? There's a company called Credit Rent Boost that will allow you to get credit for the rent that you pay and get it reported to the credit bureaus. This will not only allow you to boost your credit, but also set you up long term so when you are ready to make your first purchase as a homeowner. So give them a try. CreditRentBoost.com, and you can use promotion code OVM24522. It may be the best decision you ever made. So yeah, believe it or not, any pain, any trauma, any hurt, anything that you have been through in life, it shapes us into what we either accept or don't accept from relationships and people. That's just the way it goes. So if you accept something that you know that you've been through and hurt, and you accept it willingly, then you're inviting that pain to, you're pulling back the Band-Aid, so to speak. You're pulling back that that threshold of protection, so to speak, and you're inviting hurt in essence. So you have to be aware that, you know what, I'm not going to allow the pain and the hurt and the trauma to control me in a way that it dictates my relationships with people. It's hard, trust me. You facing any of those things, it's hard. But here's what I often see that we do. Here's what I see that we do. Far too often, we use pain and trauma as a sort of badge or ID. Like this is, this pain is who I am. I identify me by my pain. Identify me by my hurt. Identify me by my trauma. It's almost like some of us are almost proud that we've went through something, because it gives us, it makes people care for us or show compassion towards us, and we kind of revel in it. We say we want to get past it, but we also use it as a badge. Like, wait a minute, you don't talk to me like that because I've been through this. My father walked out on me. My mother left me. My this person walked out of my life. That person walked out of my life. If you have not yet been delivered from these shackles, that's what they are, shackles. Then you put on your turn signal, your little blinker on your journey, and you make a turn to do so. You make a turn to do so, to get those things, to face those things. Have you ever thought of possibly starting your own podcast? Well, I can tell you firsthand it can feel overwhelming if you don't know where to get started, and that's where Buzzsprout comes in. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch a professional podcast, already helping over 100,000 people launch their own podcasts. Buzzsprout will get your podcast into every major podcasting platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. You also will get a great-looking podcasting website and so much more. To start your own podcast and get a $20 Amazon gift card, follow the link in the show notes. This lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you and helps support our show. Buzzsprout, the easiest way to start a podcast. So yes, you have to face the pain, face the hurt, face the trauma, face those issues that you've buried. You've pretty much been burying them up until your adulthood. You've been just piling more dirt, more issues. This issue is based off of this issue. You have a foundation of pain and hurt that you've placed trauma and issues on top of. And in order to get to the foundation, you have to go through each of those issues and levels. You have to face them. And by facing them, you know what you do? After you face them, after you go toe to toe, and you knock them out, you may not knock them out, but you'll feel better that you face them. Share. I know it seems kind of crazy, seems kind of, whoa, what do you mean share? Share your story. Share your testimony, your victory plan, or if you're still in the process of being delivered from those issues and pains and traumas and things of that nature, share your POA, your plan of action. Like, this is what I'm going to do to face this. I have to deal with this regarding, my father leaving. So I'm going to have to, if I have any connection with him, I'm going to have to kind of let him know how it felt when he left. I'm going to have to let people know what this did to me when he left. I don't feel any support from this person, that person that's close to me. I have to let them know, hey, I don't feel supported by you. You only come around when you want something. I don't feel any support or anything of the sort. So you know what? I have to let them know. That's what I mean by the process, because sometimes it's a little easier said than done, because in our minds we're thinking, oh, this is going to open up a whole bag of worms. They're going to say, well, why you didn't say anything years ago?
Yep.
Why you didn't say anything then? Why are you bringing it up now? Why are you doing this now? And for the most part, it's a matter of maturity. Maybe we weren't emotionally mature then to handle what would come after. Maybe we weren't mentally mature to handle what came after. Maybe psychologically maturity was not on our radar, was not on our scope, that we could handle what comes after. Maybe you're still in the process of maturing in those areas. We all are on some level. Your emotional, your psychological, your mental maturity levels are not always going to level up at the same time. It's not like a video game where you're leveling up your character and you're trying to make sure that your power level and your magic level and all that sort of stuff levels up at the same time. Sometimes you're going to be a little bit more mature mentally than you are emotionally. Sometimes you will be a little bit more mature psychologically than you are mentally. It happens. This is why self-care is so important. I advocate it. I practice it. I'm a work in progress in it, because I know how valuable it will be in the long run. Remember, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not a sprint. It's not a matter of, oh my gosh, I gotta hurry up and be emotionally mature and secure in myself and have high self-esteem, and then maybe I'll find the person that is right for me and they won't hurt me and I won't be hurt anymore, and I'll have these feelings just magically go away. I'll be the first one to tell you that the feelings never truly go away, but they don't have as much of a hold on you. Those shackles that I mentioned before, they fall off. The marks are still there that the shackles were there. The scars are always going to be there to remind you, yeah, this is something I went through, but I conquered it. This is something that I went through, but I overcame it. There's a reason why the good book tells us you're more than a conqueror, because anything that comes against you, first, you're going to pray about it. You're going to control what you can control and leave the rest up to the Creator, and then you move forward. Notice I didn't say move on. you have to move forward. When you move forward, that means you faced whatever you had to face. You overcame that dragon. You slayed that dragon. And now you're wearing that dragon scale. That dragon fire, it scorched you, but guess what? You're still here. So continue to practice self-care. Continue to advocate. Continue to share the podcast as well as the YouTube channel. And I have been your host, and it's been my pleasure to be so. Cypher the MC, the Muhammad Ali of MCs. And as always, before you love anyone else, you must first love yourself. And I am out this thing. The Bronx Dawn, Cypher.
I will not lose. Let me tell you dudes what I do to protect this. Shoot at you actors like movie directors.